Welcome to my review of the new for 2018 Downtown Diner, which you see right here in front of you. You have this cool retro styled 50s diner set into a modular, plus this nice pink Cadillac car sitting in front. Pretty cool. So in this review, I'm going to be talking about both the styling. We'll look at the inside of this diner. Well, I'll also share with you some really cool, fun facts, some stats about this set. And lastly, we'll look and see how it fits with all the other modulars. Does it really fit in your town scene? Does the style fit? Will it make a good fit in your city? So let's start off with the set itself. As you can see, we have this front facade that sort of looks like a jukebox front, plus the nice, which should probably be in neon, right? Diner that says in front with the nice curved glass. How do I think about the styling? Well, it's sort of on the fence about it. It certainly is cool. It certainly is inventive. Does it really fit in the modular theme? I don't know. We'll see. But let's go ahead and look inside the set. So let's take the roof off. And you can see the top floor has a recording studio. It has space for the mixing artist. It has space for the singer. And it has a nice little waiting room. Unfortunately, you have a very, very small space that they've tried to cram in here. So you have room for a singer, but not a backup band, for example. So very, very small space for the recording studio. On the second floor here, you can see you have the boxing gym. And again, very cool, inventive space with the water cooler, with the little barbell rack, with the nice gym, or with the nice mat and the punching bag. But again, you have a very tight, compact space. You don't have any room if you want to make your own piece of exercise equipment. If you want to hold, a yoga class in there. All right, I know it's the 50s, so there's probably not much yoga. But anyway, if you want to hold an exercise class, again, very, very tight, compact space. You have this cool balcony, or not balcony, but wrought iron stairs that go up the side. So there you go, in the second floor. Now, where this set really, really shines is on the first floor. So let's take a look in there on the first floor. You have the cool tiling on the floor. You have the roller skating waitress. You have the cool benches. Everything about this. You have enough space now. Finally, you have a space that's big enough. It has a single purpose. And this space is big enough to add in your guys, to have a party, to have a mixer, to have, drinks. You have the cool counter with the soda. I was sort of thinking that maybe that was going to be a milkshake machine, but I think it's probably designed for coffee. You have the short order cook there. So that's really where the purpose of this as a diner and the space created for the diner really, really works well. And then, of course, you have the car up here in front. So let's go ahead and put this back together again. And so let me summarize again. That's probably my biggest gripe about this set, and that is that the spaces are so small that you can't really do anything with them. And one of the things I know Lego has been trying to pack crazy, crazy amounts of cool stuff, cool ideas, cool building techniques into tiny, tiny packages. But what was the first thing my daughter always did when we built one of these modulars? Is she made some extra beds and stuck them around, because of course everyone had to sleep. That was the most important thing. No place to put any extra beds in this if my daughter wants to accessorize it. So the inventiveness is cool. The space is really, really hard to use. And what are most people going to do with this set? Most people are going to have this sit on their shelf and they're going to look at it. They're not even going to open it up and look at the inside. So all that extra cool stuff on the inside, to me, feels like your sports car with a 500 horsepower engine. Yeah, it's nice for the gearheads to know you have a 500 horsepower engine. Maybe it makes you feel good to have a 500 horsepower engine in your car. But when you're driving down Main Street, what are people oogling at? Well, what are they going to be seeing? They're going to be seeing your styling. They're going to be seeing your sunglasses. They're going to be seeing your fins, your grill, your roof line. They're going to be seeing the outside. They're not going to be seeing the inside. So putting all that effort in the inside is interesting, but I don't know if it's the best use for these modulars. Making them open seems like a little bit better. What happened to the open floor plan of like the Grand Emporium? Maybe not quite as stark as the cafe corner, but you could see how much better the first floor was in terms of space utilization than some of the upper floors. All right, so there you go. Do you like it? Do you not like it? If you're a modular buyer, you're probably going to buy it anyway, but there's no hurry. Let's look at some stats about this set. So to start off with, I know I have a lot of viewers from all over the world. Thank you for tuning in. I'm based in the United States, so everything I talk about is based in the United States. I hope it applies elsewhere in the world, so I've tried to incorporate a little bit more. So there you go. There's some data. $170 for the set, about $15 more in Canada, EU, and I didn't look everywhere else in the world, but it seems like the US has a pretty good deal on this at $170, 2,480 pieces. Every single modular has at least 2,000 pieces, except for one. Do you know which one? It's the Market Street. And now some people say, oh, the Market Street's not a modular. But in the designer video for Assembly Square 10th anniversary, they said that the Market Street was a modular. So Brickset has officially changed the Market Street to be an official modular. So that's what I'm going with. Market Street is official modular. The very first one, it was much smaller, only 1,200 pieces. All right, the whole box here weighs 6.85 pounds. And if we figure out the value that we get from that entire weight, we get at $28 per pound. And that's decent. It's not great. It's not awful. And if you look at the past 5 modulars, they're all almost exactly the same. So they've been keeping very, very consistent in these modulars for how much they're charging. Another fun little thing I'll throw in there is I consider this a shipping class 2, my own terminology, just to jot things down. Shipping class 2 because it is the biggest set that is easy to ship. What's shipping class 1? Shipping class 1 would be something like this guy. Hard to ship, right? Big, hard to ship. Shipping class 1, huge amount in your dimensional weight charges, so very, very expensive to ship. Shipping class 3 would be like any of these medium ones that you have here. Varies from way too expensive for what you're shipping to really pretty good deal. So shipping class 2, just my nomenclature for this set, means it's relatively easy to ship, so to speak. All right, another cool thing that I like to think about is the dollar density of a set. Now, what does Amazon do if you're shipping stuff in? They charge you based on the volume of what you're sending in for warehouse costs. Why do they do that? Because they have a limited amount of space and they charge you based on volume, not based on weight. Well, if you're an investor and you have limited space, you need to know that you're making the most use out of that space. So by calculating the dollar density of a set, so this one here you see at $273, means it costs $273 for 1 cubic foot of space. So if you have something that's less dollar dense, bring this guy out again. There we go. $190 a square foot. So that means this takes up a lot of space and it doesn't cost you quite as much money. So you're not packing as much value into the space to get a lot of these. Now, if you really want to have a lot of dollar density in your stuff, you're going to go with something like this, right? The architecture sets. Look at the dollar density, $573 per square foot. And I know if I'm picking up a big box filled with architecture sets immediately that they're architecture sets because they're heavy. They fit a lot of plastic. These boxes are dense, filled with plastic, and they charge you for it. So if they really, really optimize your storage space for how much money you've spent. So this is incredibly dense in cost for how much shelf space it takes up. Anyway, so a long explanation for a simple stat. $273 a square foot for this. You can compare things. It just is something to keep in the back of mind, something else to think about if something is going to be not very efficient to store. Lastly, should you run out and buy the Downtown Diner right now? Well, you should if you like it, but retirement probably 2022 if LEGO follows the current production schedule of the modulars that they've been following now pretty closely for the last couple of years. You have a good long time to buy this. Wait for your perfect promo, like the 60th anniversary set coming up. that thing's going to be a good discount to get that for free along with your downtown diner, or any of double VIP points, triple VIP points, whatever good promo, wait for that, or wait for it to go on sale at Amazon or your local store or wherever it is, so that you have plenty of time to buy it. All right, one last cool little stat that I thought would be sort of fun is lots of times people will look at a set and say, oh, but that's so many little pieces. Well, how do we know that it's so many little pieces? We don't really know that it's so many little pieces unless we build it, we weigh it like I did. This built is 4.4 pounds, so we've discarded 2 pounds of packaging, 2 pounds of plastic, of extra pieces. I've not included the piece separator and of the instructions, so it weighs 4.4 pounds. And if we divide that by the number of pieces, 2,479, because I didn't include the piece separator, we can get an average piece weight, which is 0.81 grams, which is the same size as a 1x2 brick, approximately. So the average piece size of this is a 1x2 brick. I think that's sort of interesting. As I do more of these, I'll start updating my database with how big things are so we can get some comparisons going. I'm actually going to go back and do all the modulars, and I'll present that for you a little later in a different show. So average size about a 1x2 brick is the average piece size for this set. All right, but what do you really want to see? Now that we've gone through all that, how does it fit in with the rest of your Lego town? First comparison that seems most natural is the Parisian Restaurant, because it's another restaurant. It has another balcony. It has another it has external stairs. So there you go. Parisian Restaurant, downtown diner. Polar opposites, holy smokes, polar opposites. We have our Beaux Arts Renaissance styling, European styling, and 50s American diner. They don't really match, do they? Well, let's look at something a little bit more classic. So how about the Fire Brigade? So there you go, there's the Fire Brigade on this side. Again, you know, there we go. Does it really fit? Not really. But honestly, do those two really fit? I mean, Lego is going through so many different styles here that you really are getting this huge mix of styles in a block regardless, right? Those don't necessarily fit, so to speak, the best. They're not all the same style. They're all different. Let's go ahead and look at one more. So here we are next to the brick bank. So you can sort of see how it looks next to the brick bank. And similar size. You know, one of the interesting things, they always have these different little facades there at the top. So you can see how it fits in. Now, if it's not for you, but you still want to have the modular, there are so many modulars now that you can easily just put it off Broadway, so to speak. Put it around the block, right? You can have your main street and you can have your side street, and it can be shining its neon, enticing people down the side street, and this could be your main street. But again, there's so many different modulars now that, right, you can even create like a little alley there. There's so many different modulars that you have a huge number of ways to combine them. All right, so again, just to review, what I think would be great for Lego is to open up their interiors on the inside, because honestly, when you think about it, it can fit, it can work, but wouldn't it have been cool to have an entire modular that was a music studio, or an entire modular that was a gym, instead of trying to cram it into that one little space? So again, that's going to be my biggest gripe. My biggest plus to the set is the inventiveness of how they've built these various things. It's just amazing. I'm always amazed by what the designers come up with. And yes, it fits in because the modulars are a hodgepodge of styles. There is no unifying style in the modular. So will it fit right in if you have this big long row? Yes, if it's not your favorite, stick it around the corner. But build it anyway, because it is a cool set. So, if you enjoyed the review, until next time, Lego on!